Before the break, we were talking about the lawsuit filed against the popular online retailer SHEIN and how designers are accusing the company of stealing their ideas. So how can designers protect their intellectual property, especially when going up against a corporation as large as SHEIN? And I want to bring back Kyona McGhee, and she's the founder of the McGhee law firm, better known as Trademark My Stuff. I like that. That's branding at its best. But Kyona, I want to go back to this three stripes thing, because, you know, we all love a good stripe or a good plaid. Let's say Burberry. Let's call out the names. Burberry with the plaids. We see a lot of people now with the Burberry plaids. We see a lot of people with the Gucci. Can you say Dapper Dan? Hello? And they wound up going through a lawsuit and then worked together. But now let's talk about something else that's really current. Beyonce and this Renaissance tour. Everyone is copying everything she's wearing, and she's wearing things from these major designers. What's to say these lawsuits from these major designers from the Renaissance tour won't go out to other people right now? What's the difference there?
There isn't one, and that's been the argument, is fast fashion is taking things that people find as hot or upcoming or trending online. And even the allegations in this lawsuit is that as soon as it starts trending and becoming popular online, fast fashion and the money that they have jumps behind the trend and exploits this loop of copyright infringement and steals somebody's design. As a designer, your best line of defense is contacting a trademark or IP law firm to be able to advocate these loopholes on your behalf, but making sure that you own the designs first and foremost before, attempting to defend something that you may not have properly protected to begin with. So at the beginning of the process, when you design a dress, when you create a brand, make sure that you file the trademark at the beginning.
So look, who's to say that no one is going to copy that, jumpsuit, catsuit that Beyonce, because I've been seeing replicas of it, and she just wore it a couple of weeks ago. So, I mean, it's already happening. So I know, it's sad that we're talking about this, but it's a real thing. But what specifically can be done to protect a copyright?
The copyright in the United States, again, they don't have strong protections as it relates to fashion. So if you've created something here in America and there's something super important, there's a curl cap, for example, that is now caught on, and there's a certain cap that you can wear that lets your curls hang out, and it's obviously for women of color with big natural hair, and that has a patent on it because it's not just a normal cap. Again, it's the IP protection that this designer went and made sure that she filed a patent behind this particular design of a cap. It has a silk lining on the inside of it, and it has the back fully out to protect your curls. There's something super unique about that. If it relates to just a quote that you're putting on a shirt, you should trademark that quote. But if it's a tank top or it's a dress or there's some type of gown that Beyonce wears, chances are there will be replicas. There will be cheaper versions, and you just have to be able to prepare for that, because in defense of that, people are able to make mimics or their versions of another dress, and the United States copyright law is not going to run to every case to defend that.
For the little man, what should the small retailer consider before going after a big brand? That's going to be tough.
Yes. Again, make sure at the very beginning that you take care of all of your business. You want to make sure you have all of your trademarks filed as far as your brand name. The essence of what people are going after is the brand that they've created around these designs. For the complainants in the case for SHEIN, their argument is that their value for their brand has now diminished because people are finding this cheaper version on SHEIN. The brand that people are creating around their IP is really the magic sauce. These dresses that Beyonce is wearing, it's the magic sauce of Beyonce and her wearing it. And now everybody wants it because this brand of Beyonce has elevated this dress in and of itself. When if I wore that dress or if you wore that dress, wouldn't have the same effect as all these people. It's the brand itself. So
don't diminish yourself. Don't diminish yourself. It'll go viral.
Right.
It'll go viral.
Right.
Yes.
You're right.
If you
but
wear...
I know my lane, and I can't pull off no dress. I can't pull off no dress.
Well, I'm going to be honest that orange. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, that orange outfit that she wore at the New York Library, I believe, I already looked it up and I'm following the designer. But if somebody, no, I'm not even going to go there. But look, Kyona, if found guilty, what are the possible penalties for SHEIN?
Yeah, honestly, there's a book called The Rich Get Richer and the Poor Get Prison. Unfortunately, I truly believe that that's what would happen here. I do not believe that the founder of SHEIN would ever see a day in prison, jail, or probation, to say the least. They would likely get a fine and they will go on about their business and maybe even rebrand into another version of SHEIN all over again in the next 2 or 3 years if it really came down to it. But I couldn't see a world, especially in America, where a billionaire was sent to prison for stealing from the little man.
Kyona, thank you for this wonderful segment. Kyona, attorney of Trademark My Stuff, thank you for joining us today. And up next, the bright lights of Hollywood are now dimmed as actors join writers on the picket line. We'll have the latest on the strike, including the impact it will have on our favorite shows.
Take a ride through the 80s with the songs that tell the story of what Black people were going through.
You got a fast car.
Being Black the 80s is a podcast docuseries hosted by me, Torre, looking at the songs of the 80s as we talk about mass incarceration, the fight for liberation, the crack epidemic, and more.
I'm a black man, and I can never be a veteran.
Being Black the 80s is on the GRIO Black Podcast Network or wherever you listen to podcasts.